Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, saving the planet has never been so cool, and 2 people who help make that the case are my guests today. Trammell S. He is the founder of EarthX, and Lynn McBee, she is the chair. Thank you for being on the show.
Happy to be here.
Well, let's talk about the pandemic, because I think a lot of the rules or the things that we thought were true got thrown out the window during the pandemic. What did we learn about the environment, Trammell?
Well, first of all, Lynn knows a lot more about health and medicine than I.
Well, but you know a lot more about the environment. He's been working on it for 10 years now. So
what
you know what the main thing was? Yeah. It made us think, didn't it?
The world stopped.
It did. The world stopped. We were at home. We were thinking, we were on our computer, we were more efficient with our time. I think for me, it showed how connected we are. A very global world, that something so far away could have such a huge effect on how we live. And I think we've seen the trends in the environment and to the positive. If you want to talk about pollution.
Well, people came to us and said, is there an environmental part of COVID? And I had to go, well, I have to go check into the science on that. Mm-hmm. No, you don't.
Right.
Yes.
These diseases are because of the breakdown between people and flora and fauna. Whether it's air pollution,
right, or
microbes in soil, we all know it's environment.
Yes.
So let's get on with it.
Well, you can see LBJ behind us. It's not nearly as crowded as it was, 3 months ago.
Right.
So what did we learn about how clean the air can be when nobody's out driving?
We learned that it can happen a lot faster than we thought.
Yes. And the timing of you guys being here is important, because this is World Oceans Week.
Right.
And you've got some big stuff going on. Trammell, why don't you start?
Thank you. We've had conferences for 5 of the 10 years we've had EarthX, and we've never read any rule book. So we have something like 15 conferences, if you call a half a day or a 2.5 day a conference. That doesn't happen anywhere. So Dallas, I'm making a plug here. Not only are we the largest environmental event, because people just don't do these things, we're the most conservative environmental event, but we just don't talk about climate.
Yes.
We talk about wildlife or water pollution or all these things. So corporate sustainability was our first conference 5 years ago. Every year we do this. This is our 3rd ocean conference, I think. And this will be our best conference we've ever had. 35 speakers, a dozen countries, and 6 continents these people come from. Wow. Because the ocean is a global issue.
We're going to roll a little promo video that we found on your website while we were talking about this, Lynn. Tell us why this is so important that people pay attention to this and get plugged in.
Well, I think we all are concerned about pollution and the ocean and how that really does. We've all seen the pictures of the plastic and the fish and the turtle, and it's all. And so when you think about these are our treasures. I mean, we've got to take care of our oceans and the impact it has. And so through the conference, we start tomorrow at 1:00. Hope people will go online and sign up at earthx.org, and they can tune in and they can look at some of the different. We've got sustainable fisheries, ocean plastic solutions, coral reef conservation, high seas protection. So, I mean, the ocean is in every fabric of everything that we do here in our lives. So we've got to protect and preserve. And this is going to call upon some of the leading scientists and leading oceanographers and NGO and the UN, and we're partnering with National Geographic. And so we're very excited. It's going to be, like Trammell said, a very good conference, and a topic that we can't ignore, because these are our natural resources. And I think we were all growing up, we thought, we've got to protect and we've got to preserve, Mother Earth and the natural resources, and our water and our oceans are one of the most valued.
And you don't have to believe in climate change
Yes.
to know that to want to solve problems in the ocean. The algae blooms,
Right.
the oil spills, the fish who won't
Right.
be around so long, and sea level rise. There's an island, the Maldives, I think. A few years ago, the president of the Maldives had a parliament meeting held in a boat under the water, because he looks out at the ocean every day like this, and he knows that it's coming up, and he doesn't have a mountain or anything.
Yes. Well, and young people are so concerned about the environment. I mean, if you're a politician, you have to be listening to these young
Right.
people, don't you?
Right.
And it's not Republican or Democrat. It's just young people who love this planet. Trammell, you want to talk about that?
It is Republican and Democrat, because the Republicans have abdicated for, I don't know, a generation or more, 35 years. It was Abraham Lincoln, Republican, who started the first thing that became National Park. Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes.
In fact, Richard Nixon started the EPA. Now Reagan took the solar panels off the White House that Jimmy had put there, but that was a mistake. The younger people are going to be electing and making the decisions very, very quickly. My son is one of the oldest millennials, and he's 37. So, of course, environment's higher on their list. And they see the Republicans as anti-environment, and it has become too true, but we should reassume that mantle.
Yes.
And we can.
Yes.
To conserve is conservative.
Yes. Well, as I was doing homework for this show, I came across a video that really talks about your inspiration and how you got involved in this movement. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Yeah, I want to see this.
I was what I would call an armchair environmentalist. I said that I believe in the environment, or that I recycle, but that's really not very much. An issue came up with the utility company here, and they were trying to get too many permits to build too many plants with the wrong kind of technology. And a few business people in Dallas stood up and opposed the utility company. That battle was eventually won, but it was won by business. I decided what to do next, and just thought of having an expo for the general public so they could realize there are so many things that people can do. We realized that a pro-business Earth Day was the future of the effect that we could have in the center of the country. Then the jump from Earth Day Texas to EarthX, we had to have something that was national, and we would hope to be 160,000 this year. We have EarthX Ranch, EarthX Climate, EarthX Ocean. We've made a platform that is national, that has national politicians, corporations of all sizes, environmental groups of an incredible diversity, universities probably from 30 states, and government agencies. Now, with the thought leaders that are coming, we're having an effect upon them as well. Susan Eisenhower on the Presidential Blue Ribbon Nuclear Commission will be here. We do take a quantum leap every time. Last year, we really became a Congress of conferences.
We have to use that.
Wow. It's
Very good.
Yeah,
Very
it's
powerful.
such a great video. Trammell, you're a household name. I mean, who doesn't know Trammell Crow? Is this your legacy? Is this what?
Yeah. All my life, since I was 12 years old, for some reason, environment was the most important thing to me in life. So for 10 years, it's been that, and I guess my kids and the things that my father, my brother, and I built. But Einstein did not say, but he's attributed, the environment is everything but me. So of course we have to take care of our house.
I made this comment before the taping today that you become like a boy, just a child. And Lynn, I'd like you to address that because it's probably hard.
Trammell's
for him
excited about it.
Right,
He is
isn't it?
passionate about it. And I think when someone's that passionate and that driven, they accomplish great things. And I think to look at these 10 years have been remarkable. And now, pivoting and doing an EarthX TV, and really what is the next, what does it look like going forward? But that childlike excitement and fascination with every factoid, every comic book on the environment. I mean, his mind is hungry for more. And so I think it will be a challenge to keep up and build at his pace, but we're all going to work hard to try to do it for the environment. So yeah, he is with childlike excitement.
It's like your job. You meet all kinds of people,
Yeah.
and it's so enriching.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a great life, and in our business and in my family, we've had so many enriching experiences meeting incredible people. I was telling Lynn a few minutes ago about my broken arm in the cast, and I had Dr. Kissinger sign it.
Oh my goodness, is that true?
But these 10 years have been more enriching
Wow.
than any experience I've had. And right here in Dallas is one reason. Oil and gas guys that care about responsible oil and gas extraction. The hunting and fishing community, and I didn't know this years ago, is the most important single factor in having a healthy animal life are hunters and fishers. Well, they don't know that in San Francisco. That's why it's so important to have EarthX in Dallas, Texas.
It has to make you so proud to see how it keeps growing by leaps and bounds every single year. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I've been here longer than Lynn.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing this. There's not a place you can go to and learn about a sustainable farm or clean tech innovation or eco-faith. All the religions of the world, and what we bring in climatologists who are evangelicals to talk to the Texas audience.
Yes.
And it makes a big difference. So nobody else is doing it, and they have. We really have blinders on. People who are opposed to environment, and the environmentalists that to them environment's a religion.
Right.
And you just have to sit back and use your common sense. And let me give a sermon like my father would.
Please.
I think about Benjamin Franklin and our founding fathers. They would not approve of all the things that we buy and eat and waste, and they would not approve of the way we dirty our rivers, because you couldn't do that back then.
Wow.
The village or the town wouldn't, or the church wouldn't let you do those things. We've lost that in the 19th century, and then in 1970 there was kind of a reborn.
Yes.
Where the conservationists realized that when rivers start catching on fire, you got to start doing things.
Yes.
So awareness has grown, and businesses are starting to come around, and they have to, because that will be the solution.
Well, I think a lot of the young people today remind me of the young people in the late 60s that started the environmental movement. I mean, are you hopeful for the future?
I'm extremely hopeful. I think when they poll people of that age, millennials and younger, that number one is finding a job and number two is the environment. I mean, that's a higher kind of ranking than anything. And so I want to real quick tee off of something you asked, about the growth. And I think anyone with this idea would not have been able to do as much with it as Trammell. He's taken a very creative, different approach, and I think that creative, different approach has led to how do we, look at that side and look at that side, and it's not conventional at all. It's not just like we're going to believe everything we read. I mean, he's got a creative mind that's always exploring and looking for the answer, and so it's not. There is nothing textbook about this organization that's been built. I mean, it's been a very creative way that he's put it all together, and I think it's that passion that's so no one else could have done it. I know that.
Yes.
So.
And you have probably the coolest handouts ever.
It's a comic book.
A comic book.
Can I hold it?
Yes, please.
Speaking of kid, this is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. This is the official comic book, and you can buy it online. And that's the wrong page. And you really can understand the good guys, the bad guys. Rachel Carson, The Silent Spring.
Yes.
The Limits to Growth.
Yes.
And then Gaylord Nelson, what they call him, the conservation governor of Wisconsin.
Yep.
When he became senator, said, we're going to have a teach-in on April 22, because we had love-ins and teach-ins.
Yes.
And it became Earth Day, and tens of millions of people came. They don't do that nowadays. But the name Earth Day is the second most recognized secular holiday in the world after New Year's Day.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And Trammell, I'm going to keep this as a souvenir forever and ever. You gave me, it's almost like a calling card. It's a little marble with the globe on it.
The blue marble.
Yeah.
The astronauts first saw the Earth from the moon. They said, it looks like a blue marble. NASA still uses that term. So.
And you had Buzz Aldrin speak at the conference. Yeah. How cool is that?
Buzz came up. A great guy, old fella. He walked around all the Fair Park for 3 days.
Really?
And then I was so disappointed. He was a climate denier. I said, Buzz, you're the astronaut. Come on. But we have all the perspectives.
That's funny. Okay, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts, Lynn. Let's start with you.
Well, I'm very excited to be helping with EarthX and excited about the next 10 years. Excited about EarthX TV. He's a hard one to keep up with, and I run a very fast pace, and it's but it's going to be awesome.
I'll ditto your plug.
Yes.
There's not any single news source with environmental news, and certainly not one that talks both sides. We will have senators sitting together like they don't do in Washington. So EarthX TV will be starting in earnest in September. But tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, is our ocean conference at earthx.org. It's going to be major. We're here in Texas. We don't see the ocean, but it's a lot bigger than we are, so we better start worrying about it.
Yep.
That's a beautiful way to end this segment. We're going to put the website up so everybody can plug into it. earthx.org is the website. And go ahead and go online. And,
Get your comic book.
I'm going to have you sign it. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.